Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land, wherever we may be today, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. I'm Amy Brown, Chief Executive Officer of Investment New South Wales. We're a new agency with a mandate to reinforce New South Wales as the most desirable place in the world to visit, invest and do business. To help do that, we've brought the state's economic development and investment attraction activities together to create one point of accountability for the private sector. Our mission is to deliver economic and social benefits for the people of New South Wales by growing our economy. And we know that one of the most important keys to achieving that is capturing the jobs and investment generated by the transition to net zero. I'm excited to be here today speaking with you about New South Wales's bold targets to halve emissions by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050. Having this conversation here in Sydney makes me very proud, and I'm thrilled that the Impact X Summit will be held here for the next 2 years. It's a conversation with an ambitious agenda that must be ongoing. This conversation and others like it give us the opportunity to celebrate the net zero commitment and the path we're taking to get there so that we all can have a healthier, fairer, zero carbon world. I'm proud to say that New South Wales's 2030 and 2050 goals and the net zero plan setting out the suite of targeted climate and energy policies backing them have put us out in front in the new Federation sprint toward decarbonisation. The New South Wales Government is leading the nation when it comes to the new net zero standard. We're also a leader internationally. As one of the earliest jurisdictions in the world to commit to net zero by 2050, New South Wales is proud to be a member of the global UN-backed Race to Zero movement. We're taking the global campaign and making it local, encouraging businesses, local councils and other organisations to sign up to rigorous and immediate net zero action, future-proofing their resilience and prosperity. It's a race that we can all take part in, and it's clear that the time is right for business, for investment, and for the New South Wales community. At Investment New South Wales, we have a pivotal role to play in supporting what will be the greatest economic transformation since the Industrial Revolution. We're already working with our partners across government, industry, and the community to enable that transformation. We're putting in place the foundations of New South Wales's future prosperity. We're generating the jobs to drive our clean economy. And we're helping to protect the natural environment we all love so dearly, which draws visitors from all over the world. This is a seismic opportunity for New South Wales. And the New South Wales Government is committed to proactively supporting investment in regional and metropolitan New South Wales so our businesses and communities can seize that seismic moment. The great wave of opportunity, underpinned by our state's economic strength, abundant resources and business environment that nurtures innovation and bold thinking, means the time is right for net zero investment in New South Wales. To help accelerate the race toward net zero, at Investment New South Wales, we've been working on a plan to harness these opportunities most effectively. Our work on building a net zero economy incorporates these 9 key sectors, but I want to talk in more detail about 3 of them in particular: green hydrogen, critical minerals and batteries, and sustainable finance. I'll begin with the current headliner, green hydrogen. It's anticipated that green hydrogen alone could support between $80 and $270 billion of investment by 2050. Our new hydrogen strategy provides nation-leading framework and strategic actions for its establishment and expansion in New South Wales. The $3 billion in supports and incentives from New South Wales Government as part of the strategy is forecast to more than halve the cost of green hydrogen production in New South Wales. It makes New South Wales the best place on earth to invest in this rapidly emerging industry. Like green hydrogen, critical minerals and batteries will also be key to global decarbonisation. The resources that fall under the critical minerals banner, such as cobalt, scandium and rare earths, are vital ingredients in the batteries that will restore our renewable energy and power the world's electric vehicles. Nature has blessed us with significant deposits beneath our sweeping plains, and the New South Wales Government is keen to support sustainable growth in this field with a view to creating new regional industries and jobs. The third sector is sustainable finance. Now, we know Sydney is already a key financial centre. We have deep expertise and specialties central to the decarbonisation funding challenge. And the New South Wales Government is leading on the implementation of initiatives to strengthen and drive the sustainable finance agenda. The outcome is that we have both the expertise and ambition to become a sustainable finance powerhouse. The result is that New South Wales is open for net zero business and investment, and the New South Wales Government invites businesses across the state to collaborate with us to capitalise on this seismic opportunity. Now, as a government organisation, at Investment New South Wales, we can't do business by ourselves. We can't take on the role of investor. We can't create net zero commerce all by ourselves, but we can find and create opportunities. And we can open doors and usher in clean economy businesses and net zero investors through to the right people, programs and support. Before I finish, I want to share a recent example that I'm excited about. Newcastle-based Energy Renaissance is Australia's first lithium-ion battery manufacturer. We began working with the founders in 2019. They were keen to keep Australian innovation onshore, and we helped them to identify emerging sectors such as electric buses and commercial trucks. We also helped connect them with like-minded companies in the supply chain, including Australia's first cathode and anode manufacturers. With our support and some funding from the federal government, Energy Renaissance is now building a pilot manufacturing plant in the Hunter Valley and expects to employ several hundred people in the area in the next few years. It's a terrific example of just one of the ways that Investment New South Wales can make a difference. Think of us as the connective tissue, linking and strengthening the bonds between business, industry, academia, government and our net zero ambitions. So that we can be the most effective connective tissue, we shared a very brief survey with everyone yesterday afternoon. It will help us gauge how we can provide the best support, and thank you to those who've already taken part. If you haven't had a chance, a second notification came through just before I started speaking. Please take 2 minutes to give us your perspective, and it will help us to help you. Go to the Investment New South Wales website and follow the prompts to net zero to find out more about the support we can provide. Once again, I'm excited and privileged to be able to talk with you this afternoon about our work in the critical clean economy space. As you've heard, New South Wales has a bold net zero plan in place, and we've put ourselves out in front at the starting blocks in the race to zero. Knowing this gets me out of bed and puts a spring in my step every day. Now we want to help investors and businesses to seize the seismic opportunity that the global transition to net zero presents. Thanks for listening.